And welcome to tonight's session. We've been bantering a bit off on the camera, so we're going to enlighten you into the conversation that we've been having. But before that, look at the wonderful mug. Please feel free to check out our store. Please feel free to check us out on Patreon and support us in any way so that we can continue to bring wonderful stories and, improve the quality of the storytelling that we do. So, with that, we are going to be jumping kind of right into a debrief of what happened. I know we did not have a last session last week because of the fact that I had fallen ill, but as you can see, I'm much better now. So, before we jump into it though, I've asked the players spontaneously, so they are on the spot. They have only had this question for about 3 minutes at most, to sum up the session in their character's opinion, or in their character's perspective. What happened in the last session? So, Yami, throwing you directly on the spot, my friend. How would your character have described the last session from their perspective in 1 to 2 sentences?
Alrighty. Whew. So, hello everybody. Yami, playing as Yami, the War Cleric Azamar. Good to be back. Have everybody back. Definitely check out the mugs. I got mine coming in soon. But back to business. Yes. So, so much happened. So, for Yami, as a character, how he views that session is more so like, it was like an eye opener. Like it was very tense, but also very progressive. Like, so it was like, all right, we all got told everything we needed to hear, and then. Like, I mean, of course, some of us took it, harder than others, and some others are like, just, okay, now there's just more to think about. So I did like that part. So definitely I would say progressive, given that Levin finally spoke his true thoughts about us. Or something like that, I should say. And then, Cerys, we all finally got to ask Cerys about what the heck is going on with Mei Lee, and then me and Fennic had a little breakthrough, and Gearfried just actually got, I would assume that he got a better perspective of us as individually as a group. Saying like, all right, well, that's going on there, this is going on here, etc., etc. But yeah, I'd say progressive, if I could put it in one word. Progressive.
Okay.
Tense and progressive. Tensely progressive.
Tense and progressive. I like it. And it's definitely fitting. So passing it over to Gearfried. Gearfried, the veil of the perfection that is the Dapper Dance has now been lifted. What are your thoughts on the last session?
Well, I don't think Gearfried had any sense that they were perfect. Last session, I feel like his general impression is, holy shit, these people have a lot of problems that they have been just bottling up, followed immediately by, God damn it, I'm going to have to wear a suit. And that's his assessment of the entire session.
So from that, I'm assuming you're not a suit person.
Gearfried is definitely not a suit person. And we will explore that in this session.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. Passing it down. Fennic, you were surprisingly reprieved from the musings of Levin's emotion. What is your perspective on the situation?
He is definitely a little taken aback by it. He's not going to show it completely. He'll do it in little bursts or little actions, but he kind of, aside from Cerys, Levin's been the person who's kind of had confidence in him. So seeing Levin openly and publicly kind of, no offense, Yami, shame Yami into being a good dad when outside of Fennic's, peripheral, Yami's kind of come about to him. And then after all that, and then Yami presents him with a wyvern tooth. At first, Fennic, Fennic's respect or appreciation for Yami has come back. He still questions the motive, why, but seeing Levin kind of, rip into him, definitely, changed his perspective of things. Of okay, these people aren't that bad, and Yami's trying. And then they went off to the military place, and he went back to being Fennic.
There we go.
And he's still seeking. He's still seeking the attention from Cerys.
Noted.
And we'll get that. And he will get that hug.
We'll see about that. Moving forward, Cerys, it is now your turn.
Cerys had a kind of off day or off start to her day with Levin calling him out because she's used to working alone. So criticism, if any, comes from her, and she doesn't have to deal with other people's opinions. So, and she did not like that taste of it. Followed on the heels by Gearfried calling her out about Mei Lee, and bringing that whole situation into focus. And so she took that criticism, promptly stored it in a delete file, and moved it away, and then went about her day. And then when she rejoined the group, she got excited about clothes.
Yes. After a slight bit of a ranting and raving towards Mei Lee, and it worked. You were able to compose yourself, and then you get to start off the session with a shopping trip. Though it is on your dime, or at least part of it.
That's fine.
It is the drawback. All right, Levin, you're up, my friend.
To describe the previous session, Levin would only say that he was simply disappointed.
Oof.
Dad, no.
Oof.
Fair enough.
And how does that make the rest of you feel? I'm only.
I would assume angry, upset, confrontational, and confused.
No, honestly, for Yami, I was more a little hurt. I was like, damn. Those words cut deep. But a progressive deep.
That would qualify for upset.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess, yeah, in a certain way, yeah.
Oh, upset doesn't necessarily mean angry.
Yes, okay, true. Fair enough.
Now that we've had our characters' perspectives, who would like to just do a quick little recap, and I will just chime in extra information that isn't touched upon should the need arise.
I took a lot of notes, so I don't mind doing it.
All right, go ahead, Gearfried.
All right, so last session, we started at the bar. Yami wanted to go to a jeweler because he wanted to get Fennic that tooth made into a necklace. Gear and Fennic did go with him. The salesperson was kind of an elitist douchebag and called Gearfried a plebeian, as well as Yami, I guess. Gearfried got his pearl for the identify spell. Seth's scars look like scales because we bounced back to Seth, and I felt that was somewhat important. Seth then gave Levin and Cerys 1,000 gold worth of gems. I think it was 10 gems, 100 gold each.
Mm-hmm.
Cerys bribed Seth with her share to stop telling tales about Fennic. Levin was very quiet and didn't want his share of the cash that went into the group fund. Cerys, Cerys was not very receptive to the no iron team metaphor that Levin seemed to be trying to give her. Gearfried bought a hooligan hat. Levin lectured everyone about their fuck ups, and then went to go work out.
Not
Levin was-
everyone's.
Well, not so much Fennic and Gierfried, but Cerys and Yami he really went into. Levin also restocked his bolts, bought a scimitar. Yami gifted Fennic the necklace. Gear and Levin went to see if Gearfried's contacts were en route. The others went to the military guild to look for Ramos, who wasn't in. Instead, he met everyone at a bar. Gave us 2 objectives. One was to bodyguard in a House Orient official as sort of a main quest, and then as a favor to him, he wanted us to deliver a parcel from what sounded like an artificer gnome.
Yep, that's pretty thorough. The only thing that I'm going to add is that when they were at the military guild, Fennic left a message to summon Ramos, leaving that he was Sir Fennic. So, Ramos did walk into the room.
Sir?
He did say sir.
Yes, he did.
And Ramos, when he entered the tavern, did
Ramos
enter,
played it up.
Mhm.
and he did bring up your recent soiree on the train, how not so long ago you were
Detained.
lecturing. Yes. And now you are a sir. So you can expect that is going to come up again. Otherwise, that was a pretty thorough recap of the last events. The other thing that came into question was the value of that Mei Lee does bring to the party. That is one of the key triggers, I believe, and Cerys, please correct me if I'm wrong, that did trigger you, or your character, I should say.
She had opinions. She had strong opinions.
Because after all, Mei Lee is only with the party because of your initial following of her as she tried to escape on her own. Which is how you came to this interesting bartering decision where she is your bodyguard, but her job is to run.
Yes.
And I do this just in case we have some people tuning in that have never seen previous episodes, and maybe that'll cause them to look back. Awesome, I see a roll. What are we doing?
Oh, sorry, I was
Test
just
roll?
testing to make sure.
No,
Yeah,
that's
make sure.
okay. So with that, I believe we left off where you were in the tavern. You were discussing these 2 things with Ramos, and he had mentioned that he had offered, excuse me, I'm getting a little tongue-tied here. He had offered to give you a stipend, but somebody in the party, and I don't exactly remember who, had denied the money. But we are going to start off with a slight shopping trip.
Shopping montage.
Shopping montage, it is it.
Yeah.
So with that,
Get in,
Oh,
loser.
I was gonna say one thing that Fennic did do last session is they did go to the Hattery,
Haberdasher.
and he got the haberdasher, and he got the
shift weave hat.
weave hat.
And at this point, I believe you should have a list of hats which it can shape into.
Yes,
Okay.
I have that written.
There we go. So yes, you have the hat of many hats. At least I got a chuckle. See, that was what I was going for. Just a slight chuckle. Thank you, Aaron.
Fennic has the most hat.
He does.
Now, Fennic, was your suit shift weave or was it just a regular suit?
It was just a suit.
Ah. See?
So his attire can be seen in the general chat.
Oh yeah, you have a shift weave hat, not a suit. I'm going to buy a shift weave suit.
Jesus.
All right.
He's
So,
such a little boy.
Well, Bing isn't cooperating with the look, so I'm taking what I can get.
That individual is definitely a D&D character. However, it takes him 3 days to respawn.
with that, what type
Sounds
of
just like
story?
Fennic.
What type of store are you looking to go to buy your suits? After all, you do know where a store for clothing is, particularly Cerys and Fennic. After all, you did buy that nice suit. I believe you bought it here, not in Sharn.
Oh yeah, no, we bought it en route.
Okay.
And
Would you be going back to the same store?
Oh, definitely. Cerys recalls the quality service.
Mm-hmm.
They were good.
And he responded well to money, which is a thing Cerys appreciates.
See? The little things. Alrighty. With that, you do enter the store. You see this older woman sitting behind the counter as you enter. Hello. What can I do for you?
Oh, hello. My companions and I are returning customers looking to expand our wardrobe further, and we received such good service the last time we were here. Couldn't help but stop by again.
Oh, you are just too kind, too kind. So, who's looking for a suit? I recognize that one.
Yes. If he wants another suit, he knows how to go about it, but the rest of my companions with us definitely need to upscale their attire. And she'll be pointing to Gierfreid and Yami.
And now, just as a quick refresher, Gierfried and Yami, whoever wants to start off, what is your character currently wearing?
Let me see. So I'm wearing like a chainmail kind of armor, kind of like it's still in good condition, but kind of like scratched up, scuffed up, muddied. Like I've just been in battle. Like I mean, I wash it off here and there, but it just has the battle marks on it still.
Okay. Gearfried?
Gearfried is wearing plate armor, but it is artificized to. It's his arcane armor, so it's got some gear motifs on it, and yeah, it's like he's just dressed for basically defense and combat right now.
You're gonna notice that she leans forward, adjusting her glasses. You guys look like you're ready for battle.
They're not ready for the battle. They're not dressed for the battle we're going to attend.
Well,
they need
right.
proper armor.
We don't sell armor here, though.
No, they need social armor.
Oh, yes, that I can help you with. And you're going to notice that she kind of stands up, and you hear a couple of creaking of the bones as she corrects her posture. And what type of suit are you looking for? We've got them all. And she's going to kind of flail her hand to the various styles.
Do you by chance have any shift weave suits?
Well, on hand, no. But that's because shift weave has to be custom made. The different suits get woven into the fabric as we make it.
So it'd be a wait time.
Yes, but I can have it done within a day or two. Assuming I don't have a lot of work ahead of me. And she's going to look to an empty pile of an empty table where she would be sewing things.
If I pay you a little extra, can you make it faster?
I don't know if you've ever tried to sew before, Sonny, but no matter how fast I go, I need at least a day. Maybe a day and a half.
Fair enough, I'm sorry. I still take that, but I'll take a suit as well for now to wear until then.
All right. I could do a regular suit for you for about 15 gold pieces. The shift weave suit, because it is a magically inclined suit, I am going to have to charge you about 75 gold pieces.
Fair enough. I'm going to give her.
As soon as you say fair enough, she already hops off the stool. You could possibly mistaken her for almost a dwarf with the size that she is. And she begins to take out a tape measure and begins measuring your outer seams and inseams.
Okay.
She's getting very personal.
Well, that too. All right, I guess.
He said he said he wants a suit, so she's taking the measurement.
Mm-hmm. Cerys nods sagely.
You're gonna see her moving at a unexpectedly quick pace as she does this, almost like a cartoon where she's here, then she's here, then she's here, taking all of the measurements she needs, jotting them down on a piece of paper. Once she finishes with Yami, she's going to turn to Gearfried. And for you, what can I do for you?
My job's going to be remarkably easier. I'm not really looking for a weave suit or anything like that. Honestly, I'm not really even looking for a suit in general. But
he is.
I think just hold on. I think I can get by if I just have a nice shirt with a vest, some nice some nice trousers, and a nice pair of shoes.
Throw in a frock coat and a cravat.
I'm not really a coat person.
That's great. You can deal with the fact that you're going to look out of place if you're not wearing these things.
Plenty of gentlemen wear suits without wearing the jackets to them. I've seen it.
On the street.
You're going to notice that as you're having this conversation, and I'm not trying to interrupt, please continue after. Her head is going to be jotting from one to the other to the other. It's almost like she's watching a tennis match as you two discuss this.
You're going to an actual Dragon Mocked House party. You need to sort of aim higher than the casual street appearance.
The casual street appearance is what we're currently wearing. All right, you know what?
No. We are at a different social class. Okay, yes.
Fine. I will get the jacket, but I'm going to complain about it the entire time.
Excellent. Include a cravat.
So that would be 15 gold pieces.
Yeah, right. And I pull out 15 gold.
And before you can even hand her the money, she's doing the same thing that she did with Yami. She is immediately beginning to take your measurements.
Slate gray, if you've got the color.
Oh, I got
Red
slate
highlights.
gray. I get slate gray. What? You want highlights too? Okay, I can work that.
Include like red highlights with a little touch of like something that gives a little bit of a flame aesthetic.
Right.
It seems
because where
fitting
would we
for
be
him.
if we didn't remember I was fire genasi?
It's to matching.
Well,
She just stares at him.
do you want these highlights? And she's going to be asking Gearfried.
Sure. Yeah, sure. That'll be fine.
Yeah, that was convincing, but okay. And then when she has the measurements written down, are you going to come pick them up tomorrow? Well, these will be ready for you within 2 hours, these regular suits. For you, Yami, would you be coming back tomorrow, or is there somewhere where I should send it?
I would come pick it up, if not tomorrow, the day after, depending what I get into. I can never tell. I'd rather you just hold it here.
We could certainly do that.
Thank you kindly. And I tip my hat, and sparkles come out as I tip it.
So with that, Yami, you can mark off. What is that? What? Hold on. Sorry, Joan.
75.
Go ahead.
Oh no! I thought you were going to say something else. Never mind.
Okay. So that would be 15 for the current suit you're going to get in about 2 hours, and then 75 for the other. That should be 90 gold pieces.
I'm gonna just toss her one of the gems that I have. I have 2 gems, so I'll give her one of them. Okay, would this be enough?
Okay. Sure thing. Though I don't know how much the gem is worth. I'm not a jewel appraiser.
Well, you know what? I can appraise it for you and bring it back when the suit is done, then, if you want. But if not, you can just keep it. I know it's worth something.
It's worth 1 gold.
Are you asking me, or are you telling me?
I'm asking. What do you prefer? I don't mind getting appraised for you since you are doing the work.
Well,
I can go take care of that.
I would certainly much rather knowing the value if you're going to pay me with it.
All right, perfectly fine. I'll be back when I come, and I'll have everything for you.
Understood. But
Thank you.
remember, if you don't come in such a timely manner, I'm going to sell the suit.
Fair enough.
You got I'll hold it for a month. It's okay. Just don't forget about it.
Oh, I'll be way back sooner than that. Sooner than that. Thank you.
And then for Gearfried, just mark off 15 gold pieces for your suit.
Done and done.
Is there anything else you guys would like to do while you're here? Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
There's like, also, I'm going to need a suit. And my other companion, she'll point to Mei Lee, is going to need a dress.
Okay, what type of suit are you looking at, miss?
I'm looking at something in a dark blue, light gray vest, cravat, gold highlights, and some steady shoes.
I could do something, but that's going to take a little bit more time. I have to
I'm
find
willing
the
to
trimming.
pay the price.
All right.
I understand.
For that, I'm going to have to charge you 25 gold pieces.
Eminently reasonable.
And what about for your friend there?
She'll look at Mei Lee and just she will. For her, I think we need a gown, kind of a nice soft blue gray with silver accents and embroidery. A little bit of lace around the collar and the sleeves.
I think that I have something in mind for her. Hers will be
Excellent.
the easiest. And with that, she's going to go and she is going to take both your and her measurements. She's going to look, hold on one second. And she's going to walk into the back and she's going to come back out with a gown. It's very similar to what you described, except it is more of like a lilac color.
Okay.
How is something like this? I don't know if you'd want me to dye it to the color you wanted. For the most part, this is what one of the noble women, they had requested this dress and then suddenly realized the fad was out. So they left it here and I told them the same morning I said to your friend, it's here after a month they sell it.
I like the idea of taking the dress. Though I am concerned with being somewhat unfashionable. Can you make any alterations to be more in season?
Sorry. Yep, I can make alterations.
Excellent.
And with that, she is going to begin kind of like sketching something out, making the dress a bit more fashionable. For hers, I'm going to have to charge 18 gold pieces.
Oh, excellent.
So with that, that would be, I had said, 25 gold pieces for your suit and 18 for hers. So that's going to be
43.
43? Is it?
43.
43.
43. All right. I can't math today. It's a good thing I'm the DM, huh?
It's the weekend.
All
It's a blowout
right.
still.
So, now that all of that's said, those of you who are getting normal stuff, you'll be able to, the specially tailored one is going to take a little bit of time. I don't know if Ramos, I forget, remind me, did Ramos give you a time that you had to meet the House Orion?
I think you said the next day.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to say
within the day was the recommendation. Would Levin be able to put in an order for his for formal wear?
Absolutely.
All right.
What would you be looking for?
Levin is going to hand the tailor a piece of paper with very specific numbers on it. It's going to have his height and weight. It's going to have his shoulder to shoulder so that the overarm measurement is correct. It's going to have the widest part of his chest as a measure, from his arm, from his shoulder down to his wrist. It's going to have from his neck down to his thumb for the jacket length. It's going to have around his neck from under his Adam's apple. There will be an outseam, an inseam, and a waist measurement for his dress pants. And there will be a double check against the chest versus shoulder so that the jacket would fit tight across his back.
Alrighty, she's going to take the sheet And she's going to look over the numbers. You know, all my years as a tailor, I've never seen somebody come in with exact, precise measurements. It's quite impressive, young man.
It has been fairly consistent. If you could.
You certainly can. If I work overnight, I should be able to get pretty much all of this except for the shift weave suit done by tomorrow morning. Is that acceptable to you all?
One more thing before we all accept or decline. Does this place sell any sort of like formal like briefcase style bags or anything like that? Like some sort of, I don't know, like high end briefcase or something like that.
I would say yes. You could find one here.
All right.
They
I
only
would
have like one style, and it's going to cost like 15 gold pieces in itself.
Yeah. Gearfried's gonna go and buy one of those as well.
But if it makes you feel better, it is a really nice leather briefcase.
All right. Gearfried will grab it, place it on the counter, and just say, "I'm taking this as well."
Pleasure doing business with you all. So, come first light, or what is a good time for? What time do you all wake up? So I know what my deadline is.
Levin's going to pipe up. You don't need to worry about me. I'm up an hour before first light. I do need to know the price of the commission, though.
15 gold pieces for you as well.
All right. And he'll pay that full up front.
Alrighty.
I figure it might just be easier for us all to arrive at the same time, or if not, then just send one of the others to grab everything for everyone.
So I should be set by 10:30 tomorrow morning. Is that acceptable?
I'll
Yes.
be by then.
Okay. It is very nice to meet you all, and a pleasure doing business. And you're going to notice that she immediately goes to get to work.
Well, then, who wants to run an errand with me?
Where are you
the
going?
errand?
I will have to inquire as to the errand you're running.
I'm going to be stopping by an armor, a leather. I just need to grab a basic set of leather armor, small, something that can fit in this. And I hold up the briefcase.
And the accompaniment is for.
I don't know, in case anyone of you had anything you wanted to buy there.
I'm satisfied with my equipment. How are the rest of you?
I could probably use the health potion or something.
I can't complain.
I mean, I'll come along with you for the ride. Why not? You came with me.
All right, cool. Well, we'll meet you back at the Drake.
Pardon me. As a reminder, when was this event happening that we would require the formal wear?
Tomorrow?
I think, if I remember right, I think Ramos said the event was in a few days, but that we should meet with the House Orion fellow soon.
Oh, right. All right.
Was Gearfried
I could go and get those details for you if you'd like.
That'd be helpful, but not entirely necessary. I mean, if we all, I'll be up early in tomorrow morning, so we could all go at the same time.
I can wait.
Alrighty. Come on, Yami, let's go find some general stores and armor.
Alrighty, let's go. Could definitely use some better armor.
Alrighty, so besides going to an armor place, what else would you guys like to do?
Fennic, Cerys, is there anything you need to shore up?
I don't think so.
Probably not. I'll probably pick up something on the way back, but it's a fairly quick purchase. It won't take very long.
Would you need an extra set of eyes?
No, I'm actually going to pay for it.
I wasn't going to assume, but thank you for disclosing. Then, if you don't mind, I will take my leave and handle some business.
All right.
Alrighty, Fennic.
Oh, Fennic would like. Let's see. I'm trying to find a store that has like something to keep my hands occupied. Like little thing. I saw this really cool thing once in the library.
Fidget
It was
spinner?
like this. What?
Thinking that.
What?
Fidget spinner.
I was gonna say like a fidget, but I was trying to keep it like relatable.
It's steampunk.
I'm gonna find like a Rubik's cube. I'm gonna keep my hands busy.
I would say you'd be able to find that in a general store.
Okay. Fennic will go there.
You can come with us, Fennic. I'm also headed to the general store.
All right.
Alrighty. Levin, you had said you were taking your leave. What would you like to do?
I'm going to be going back to the domain of motion, and I will be making an inquiry as to any goings-on for the House Orion that would require a security presence.
Alrighty. So we're going to start off first with Yami and Gearfried. So you guys are going to the armor. You're going to see a dwarvish individual, female by the looks of it. She is kind of hammering away at a piece of plate mail. How can I help you?
Hi there. I'm not here for much. I just need a decent set of light armor. Something that'll fit in this, and I hold it in the briefcase.
Light armor, that's it? Yeah, I got light armor.
And may I inquire for some heavy armor as well while you're looking back there as well for me, please?
Heavy armor, huh? What type of heavy armor? What are you looking for?
Well,
We got ring mail, we got chain mail, we got splint. This is quality, you know?
No, that's fair enough. Take care of my partner first. I'm gonna go ahead and think that question over.
All right, so for you, light armor, I assume you're looking for leather, studded leather, or what do you want?
Studded leather would be preferred.
All right, I got some studded leather. Do you want a generic one, or do you want me to custom fit it for you?
I mean, I'd like it to fit, but how much is the extra custom?
Well, the armor itself is going to cost 12 gold pieces. To have it custom fit, I'm going to have to add on another 2 gold, 14 gold for custom fit.
That's doable. I place 14 gold on the counter.
All right, by looking at you, you're what, medium to a large size clothing? Not creature,
Larger side of medium, but yeah.
All right, I think I got something. And she's going to just quickly go off to the side, and she's going to pull out a armor piece that roughly is your size. And you're going to notice that she uses magic to kind of customize it for you.
All right.
So that it is more conforming to your shape, but not overbearing to it.
Right.
How's that?
That should work. And I put the briefcase on the counter, and I look at her and go, can I see if it fits in here, just to make sure?
Yeah, sure. After you pay me.
Yeah, I put the 14 gold on the counter, and I just.
All right. She's not going to touch it though until you're satisfied.
Does it fit in?
It does fit in nicely.
All right. Well,
snugly.
And great. That works. And
happy to be a help.
I'll toss an extra gold there, and in Dwarvish, I'll just say for the trouble.
Thank you, too kind. She's going to respond in Dwarvish as she scoops up the gold and puts it away. Hey, you. Did you finish thinking?
Yes. How much for your split armor?
Split armor. It's on the priciest side. It's going to cost about 200. That's some heavy duty armor.
Okay. What about? Hold on, let's put this one there. Sorry about that. All right, never mind. And I do appreciate your services.
Happy to be of service. Come back again when you need some real armor.
I'm gonna get some real money first, but I'll be back. I'll bet you that.
With that, she is going to go back to pounding on the piece of plate mail that she was working on as you entered. And we're going to jump to where Cerys and Fennic and Mei Lee are in the general store.
Awkward.
Just had to make sure that you knew that Mei Lee was still there, even though she's.
Oh, I know. Well, I know she's with us.
So, as you enter the general store, you see a young male human. He's tending to the counter. Hello, how can I help you?
I am looking for things to do with my hands.
Sounds more like a you problem, sir.
Fennic will think about her for a second. No, you sicko. Like, something to fidget with.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, we're not that type of store.
Clearly.
Yes, clearly. When you say something to play with your hands, and he's going to mimic your hand movements, what specifically are you looking for? I have something like this, and he's going to show you more of like a... It's magic in the barest sense, as in it's enough that it's picture one of those squeezy balls with the netting around it, and it's just charmed not to pop. So like that's the magical essence of it. We have something like this. I hear it's good when you're relieving stress. And
so
he's going.
Sorry, go ahead.
And then the other thing is that he's going to hand you the equivalent of like a infinity fidget toy. Where every time you fold it, it always maintains that shape. Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Steampunk ADHD toys.
You did open up a door for Fennic. As he's squeezing the ball, Fennic is going to look up to Cerys and go, right, it's not that kind of store, but here he is shoving balls in my face and squeezing them.
She smiles a little.
I like the bendy one, the stick. Do you have any of like the cubes that like have all the colors on the sides that mix up?
I can look. And he's gonna kind of mumble as he goes off into the back, kind of upset at your comment.
He did do it.
I mean, after all, you did walk in and say, "Here, can you give me something to play with my hands?" But he does come out with the equivalent of a Rubik's Cube. It's more of a rune cube. So you just have to kind of more match up the runic symbols to it.
A runic cube.
Yep.
Oh,
trademark. Cool. It should not be trademarked, so we should be good. But he is going to charge you a gold piece for it.
Each or total?
Are you taking both of the...
Yeah, he's going to take like the infinity thing and the runic cube.
So 5 silver for the infinity one and 1 gold for the runic cube.
Okay.
All right. So, Cerys, what would you like? Or what are you looking for?
Sarah's like, do you have like 1 or 2 just healers kits for purchase?
I can check. We don't usually carry too many healers kits because they're not as needed in the city. But I should have at least 1 in stock. Let me go see. And he's going to go back into the back to double check.
was preparing to judge this establishment harshly.
That's okay.
So, as he goes back, Fennic will take a moment to ask Cerys a question.
Yeah.
So this party we're going to, do you think you could teach me how to be proper? And he's gonna kind of like not puff out his chest, but try to make himself a little bigger and a little bit more like straight backed. In like a humorous way.
To be fair, I've never actually had that training myself, but I can teach you how to fake it.
Hey, I'm good at faking.
A lot of it's just sort of poison attitude.
I've heard that you just kind of agree with what they say and laugh at their dumb jokes.
Yes and no. There is a little bit of, being able to read who's like the important person, who's the leader, and then who's okay to sort of ignore. It's very...
As you're having this conversation, he is going to walk back out with a singular healing kit. It is going to cost you 5 gold pieces. Are you still interested? Silence is deafening.
I think I didn't catch your...
5 gold pieces, sorry.
Oh, yeah. She pays it easily.
Alrighty. So with that, you now have a healer's kit.
Yay!
Alright,
Okay.
I have another question. After that, he's gonna ask Cerys another. Have you noticed Yami acting weird, like all fatherly and, actually giving me attention now?
You mean living up to the thing he said he was doing when we met him?
Yeah. Like, he gave me a tooth that he pulled from that thing down in the tunnels.
I mean, I noticed it. It's hard for me to gauge. I don't have a lot of experience with parental figures.
I know Levin kind of, well, as he says it, like that Levin spoke, he's gonna air quote, like spoke to him pretty roughly. Like, I don't know if it's sunk in or made him realize like that I'm still here and whatnot, but I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't appreciate it or like I'm grateful for it, but it's just a weird adjustment after not getting that for a long time.
I imagine so, but I think it probably had more to do with seeing you unconscious and bleeding out on a cavern floor that may have changed Yami's opinion, more so than Levin's words.
Yeah, I think, now I think about it, that might have a pretty big effect. Like, I can only imagine, like, if Mei Lee was in my spot, how you would react.
I would set the world on fire. I
Ooh.
mean, I would probably dismember somebody, but...
Would you dismember somebody for me?
Sure.
Sweet.
You have somebody in mind?
I did. Until you paid him off.
Well, given his beloved...
Oh, wait, no, Fennic doesn't know that.
I was going to say, Fennic doesn't know.
Fennic doesn't know that.
Fennic just knows that he was not mentioned in the Bard's song at all.
Yeah. So, let me recon. I had somebody in mind, but then something weird. There's a lot of weird things going on, and I just don't know how to make of it.
I mean, part of life is learning how to adapt to unusual circumstances. The unexpected can be the thing that trips us up most readily.
I like that. And he'll just start playing with the thing.
And with that, we're going to jump over to Levin, going to the House of Motion. As you enter the carnival once more, you are greeted by familiar faces. Is there anyone in particular you're looking for?
I will be making inquiries as to soirees that House Orion may be hosting.
Okay.
And the level of security specific to them. Because the request I'm going to be making, and it's not a light request, will be that of stowing away a weapon.
Okay.
Within the venue.
So first thing, go ahead and give me a perception check. A persuasion check. Excuse me.
It's not great at these, so he's going to lead with coin on this.
Go ahead and give it with advantage. And this is more so not that it's going to be denied. It's more on the lines of how long it's going to take you to find somebody to discuss with. So here...
Yeah, it'll be a 3. So it'll take me pretty much a good portion of the day.
Exactly, because it is a large area and there are multiple performers, but you're also seeking specific information to have to do with the House Orion. But eventually you are able to come across a surprisingly knowledgeable human who does have an association with the House Orion. His name is the only name he provides you with is Malik.
Levin will simply nod at the proffering of the name. So, the business I wish to conduct is I will be acting as a security detail, and I will need a second location to have a weapon available should things go awry.
Going to look at you more skeptically. I haven't heard of anybody in the House Orion hiring a new bodyguard.
This would be specific to a guest.
Guest to what? And this is more him prodding you for information just as much as you're prodding him.
Levin will freely give up details of the mission that Ramos has relayed to him.
So he wants you to guard either someone or something. And you don't know what. That's a bold job offer to take.
It is a little more nebulous than I am used to, but one has to adapt in order to service the client.
Yeah, but one also has to wonder, what does a big shot House Orion member want with that? I'm assuming you did give up the name of Hordran?
Yes.
Okay. So he would recognize him as being a bigwig within the House Orion.
And for that, I would leave the information on that end towards interested parties within your house. My concern is simply that of the security of the people attending.
Alrighty. Now, what's this weapon you want?
Levin will proffer him a basic hand crossbow, already folded up so that it is relatively slim. My requirements are that this to be stowed in a secondary location known only to me or to me and individuals known to you.
Where do you need it? You want it here, or do you want it somewhere else? We can stash it somewhere if we need to. How much gold are you proffering to them?
20.
Okay. He's more than happy to help you any way he can.
Main room, not at code check. Within 10 seconds access.
And you're saying to do this within the house or in where you're going?
Within the soiree that's being planned most closely to current date.
Okay. As a little bit of a tidbit, that soiree is interesting. Apparently, he's showing off a rare family heirloom.
Levin's going to hold up his hand. My apologies. I am not currently interested in tangent information, just what can be done about this.
And it will be stashed. And he is going to take a mental note of the location that you asked, and he will take the weapon and the gold.
I appreciate your discretion. If you would send it to me, the location at the inn.
Of course.
And for that, what do you have stored in the dwarven wetness over in the corner there? And he's going to point to a barrel with what he presumes is whiskey.
It is exactly what you think it is. Are you trying to say you want a drink?
Several, but desire versus need. I'll have one before I leave.
He's going to pour you a glass, but before he gives it a cup, but before he gives it up to you, it's going to be 2 silver pieces.
He already put a gold in front of him.
Okay, he gives it to you, but he does not give you back change.
Not expecting change. Discretion is what he's looking for.
Same page, it works. But with that, you are handed a nice whiskey.
And with that, he will conclude his business and at some point make his way back to the group.
Alrighty. With that, we're just going to quickly time skip ahead to where you do regroup, I'm assuming, at the tavern, unless there's anything pressing that you would like to do before that.
No, Levin's good.
I would have murdered a couple people on the way back.
Okay. Are we sure about that 5 minutes?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Gotcha. Murderous rage has gone. Alright, Yami, you good?
Yep, I'm good.
Okay. Gearfried?
Yeah, good.
And Fennic.
All good.
All right, so with that, we are going to time skip ahead. We're going to say that between the longer bouts of time, meaning the time that Levin had to search, and you guys were wandering around the city to kind of find the general store and armor shop that you needed, a couple of hours would have passed.
Oh, sorry. One small thing.
Yes.
For the planned soiree, Levin would have prepared a gift. Just a very small flower arrangement, and that's it.
Okay. Wildflowers, or are you going to a florist?
Quick, without the prioritization of cheap.
Okay, so it's not going to be much. It's only going to be about 2 silver pieces for a nice little, for at least the flowers you would need to make an arrangement, unless you want something arranged, and it wouldn't take very long.
Nothing specific. He doesn't know about the client, so just general.
So with that, like I said, it would just be about 2 silver pieces, and you would have a nice
Noted.
floral arrangement of various different types of flowers. So as you, I would assume, would be entering the tavern last, you would be entering with this floral arrangement. So as the others are sitting in the tavern, they would just kind of see...
Levin would have had it delivered to the event.
Okay. So then I backtrack that. And, yep. So you would be able to rejoin the party. You guys are all settled in at the tavern. What would you like to do?
Gearfried, upon arriving back to the tavern, Gearfried goes to his room, grabs his bag. This will technically be after a long rest, but I'm just kind of illustrating it here. Gearfried walks down, carrying his own like rucksack, and when he walks the table that everyone is sitting at, he just starts he just turns it over, and a bunch of like brass cogs and gears, some like sort of polished looking gem like materials also pop out too, as he's just kind of like letting it pour onto the table and making sure nothing really falls off. Or he sets it down and he just starts going to work, like putting a bunch of pieces together. He does not say anything about it while he's doing it. He's just like rapid fire putting it together. And as he's doing, like he's going really quick, kind of like when soldiers like take apart and reassemble guns. Very similar to that, except he's like kind of creating what looks like a model of some kind while he's doing it.
So Cerys, Fennic, and Yami, you would be seeing not only Gearfried dump out a pile of gears and other items, but begin to get to work. What are you guys doing during this time?
I'm kind of just not unfazed by this annoying Gearfried. I'm like, he's doing what he does best.
Can I attempt to steal some of the gears?
I think was going to do the same thing. He's not going to steal them. He's going to like kind of like lean in and like pick a couple of them up and look. I was like, what's with all this junk?
She's not stealing them with the intent to keep them, just to see if he notices they're missing from whatever he's building.
I would say go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check. Gearfried, what is your passive perception?
Passive perception is 11. Oh wait, no. Yeah, 11.
So you are I'm assuming you're focused on what's going on, or are you going to be more paying attention as you work, paying attention to the others as you work? What is Gearfried's mentality here?
Gearfried's mentality is very much like he can do this without looking at it, but he is kind of like working to just kind of get this done as quick as he can. So, I mean, if they roll high enough, sure, he wouldn't notice that something's been taken, but he will notice it because he knows every single one of these parts intimately. So, like, you take one of them, and he needs all of them to make what he's making. So.
Yeah, that's kind of the point. It's like she's not just like trying to like pocket it and keep it. She's like holding, like she'll swipe a gear in like the palm of her hand and just hold it on the table like with her hand over it, watching to see what happens when she assumes he gets to the piece she took and it's not there.
You're that person that hides the last piece of a puzzle, aren't you?
Yeah.
I could see this.
Well, whenever Gearfried would get to the point at which that specific piece is needed, he would like pause for a second and then like look on the ground really quick and then look on the table and like make sure.
Go ahead and give me a quick
scattering.
Perception check. This is more on the lines of to see how long it's going to take until you notice.
Perception.
So you're sitting. Yep.
While he's starting to look around, I would like to try and subtly put it back, like right in front, like put it in a way that like it's an obvious place that he had looked before, and when he looks back, it's there, and he's like, "How did I miss that?"
Well, this perception check wasn't for him looking for the piece. This was more on the lines of how long it would take him to run into that piece. So after about an hour and a half's worth of time, that's when it's basically as Levin is walking in, that's when you kind of begin looking around. Because you're like, I've had this piece. Where did it go? And now, Cerys, you would be noticing him looking around, and you can attempt to sneak it in. But at this point, I'm going to say he would notice because he knows that he would kind of know that nothing really dropped and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to slip it unnoticed.
I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to like I just want to be in such a way, like, he doesn't see, I don't want him to see my hand drop it off. I just wanted to, like when you're looking for your keys and they're in the place where you left them the whole time, kind of thing.
Okay.
She's being a nonce.
Yes. Basically, like, when he, like, looks at the floor or something, I just want to, like, boop, drop it off.
All right. So with that, I would say that it would be a sleight of hand versus a perception check. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think you're beating a 30. So we have the min-max here. Okay. With that, Gearfried, the piece is suddenly going to appear on the table where you would check 2 or 3 times. It's almost like magic. It just reappeared.
Gearfried would just kind of like pause, look at it for a second, pick it up, and just kind of like go back to work, really not thinking too much about it. Just like, whatever, just keep going.
Yep. Cerys is sort of, like, amused at this whole process.
Fennic,
Right.
we're going to say, particularly because even with your highest roll, I don't think you could beat a 30. We are going to say that you are under the assumption that she still has that piece. With that,
Okay.
Levin, you are now in the room. You guys are all now completely regrouped. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back after we and take it from here. So with that, everybody, if you are watching, check out our store, check out our Patreon, and we'll be back.
While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms.
And we are back. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully you enjoyed our advertisement while you were perusing our website, as I hope. If you're seeing this later on, peruse our website and help support us. That's right, we're going to continue mentioning this. Where we left off, we had just regrouped with the party. We have a mechanical being being built. We have Cerys playing little games with Gearfried as he is attempting to build this thing that he's working on. Fennic his work is doing what Fennic does best, and I'm not sure what Fennic does best. And Levin had just walked into the room with to regroup with the party. Your suits and everything will be ready by the next morning. You do have the rest of the evening to kill time. What would you like to do?
Levin's going to take a quick glance over the group. Is Mei Lee present?
She is present.
Is she standing by Cerys, or is she seated at a table?
She would be seated next to Cerys. She does, despite being a bit more quiet than normal due to the comments that she had been privy to from earlier in the day, she does seem more comfortable than normal. So her posture's a bit more relaxed. Sorry.
Levin's going to sit at the table across from her, and he is going to address her directly. So, are you prepared for the events that are going to be happening?
I think so, though I'm not sure what exactly we're being asked to do. Besides being a god and...
I'll keep it simple.
Okay.
Do you have martial training?
Yes, I have been taught to fight. It's how I've survived so long.
Okay. Have you been taught to serve in a specific role, a function in a military or mercenary operation?
No, but I'm best at kind of scouting ahead.
What do you think our expectations with this job with the House Orion are?
Well, if I go by the job description that I currently have as a bodyguard, I'm supposed to run, but I'm assuming that's not it.
For a more formal event, running is a bit untoward. I can take some time to discuss with you manners of etiquette and expectation with the role that you may be expected to fill. As a preface towards this, I have had to serve as a bodyguard or an escort before, and I do believe that this would be useful information for you.
Well, I do have some degree of training in etiquette. I was once a handmaid. It wasn't long, but...
In that regard, then, we can at least compare notes. Would you be amenable towards further education for the job that you may be taking?
Of course.
And with that, Levin is going to take whatever time he needs to describe how a security detail in a soiree would go. The need for clearing arms or before a
You're coming in a little bit choppy right now.
Yeah. I can't hear him.
1 sec.
Oh.
Anthony, I just put a table in the chats for Fennic's Rubik Cube.
All right. Testing.
Yep. Hear you loud and clear.
All right. Levin would be emphasizing the expectation for security details or bodyguards within a party event. Like the need to clear the holding of sidearms.
Okay.
But he would take some time to do that.
All right. So as he's going through these processes or going through these explanations, what are the rest of you doing?
I feel at a certain point during all of this, Gearfried would have almost completed or completed what he's working on. It wouldn't take more than an hour to finish his.
All right, that works. So your contraption would be completed.
Yes. So while it was being made, if anyone was watching, you would slowly start to see it take shape in like a few different ways at first. You know, the first thing he would be constructing would kind of look like sort of a potato. And then like putting more together, he makes what very much looks like a leg, like a hind leg, and then another hind leg, and then like another like front arm, another front arm, and like slowly begins to like assemble and attach everything. And by the time it's done, I will post it in the chat. Boom. A little sort of steampunky, tiny little dragon is like sitting on the table.
Like a pseudo dragon familiar?
Yeah, sort of. Not as big. This is roughly,
Well, a pseudo dragon would be roughly about maybe 2 or 3 handspans big.
Yeah, this would probably be about 2, at most. It's not a big contraption, but it's made entirely of like brass parts, gears, as well as this like sort of filament for the wings on it. Some dials in there as well, and there's like a little slot on the forehead that he pops open. He takes one of the infusions, the little like circle things that he has. He takes it off of his what do I have it on currently? I currently have it on his crowbar or tire iron, whichever it was. Pulls it off. He puts it in the back of the head, and then like he reaches for the shared stash and pulls out one of the 100 gold gems that Seth gave us, and he puts it inside of the little slot and closes it and like pushes a button. And afterwards, it kind of like slowly loads up before the eyes glow white and the little dragon starts to move around. And Gearfried just is like, all right, he's done. It's been a while since I brought this out.
And with that, you would see a little mechanical dragon, similar to what was posted on the screen. What is your name for this little thing? What do you call it?
This right here is Cogfreid.
I love it. You can have inspiration. I love it.
That's
if you already, I don't know if you have an inspiration yet already, but you can take that, and if you have one, you can pass it on to another player because I love it.
What did Levin say?
That's precious.
No.
Aaron said that's precious. Levin would not have had a comment.
No. Yeah. This right here is Cogfreid. This is an old trick that well, pretty much any artificer that's taught by another artificer is sort of it's kind of the opening into your lecturing. You learn how to make these things. They're called homunculus servants, though I prefer the term robo-friend. They take various shapes, but I decided to make mine in the shape of a tiny little dragon.
Robot.
Fennic will just kind of like leaning close and like look at it, and he'll kind of like touch its nose, like, so what does it do? Like he's gonna do like the tap, tap, tap.
When you tap it, it kind of like recoils slightly, and then
Oh.
it like kind of like does the dog circle before it like sits down. And Gearfried places his hand on its head and starts to like rub it. It can't feel, but it reacts kind of like a small dog. He goes, "This right here is it's got a variety of uses. It's not quite as versatile as a mage's familiar, but it can do a few things, including cast spells on my behalf that require touch. So I figured it might be worth it to have some eyes in the skies, and it can fly as well.
So in fact, simile for a familiar.
Pretty much. I don't think of it as an artificial familiar.
Pretty nice. Kind of cute.
Since I won't be able to be as armed as I'd like to, I figure that this might, help out for having some eyes in areas where we might not normally be.
Form follows function.
Right. And as I mentioned, it can cast spells for me, as long as that spell is one that requires me to touch something or someone. And being that I can do that through this little guy, if anything goes wrong, then I might be able to help out from a distance.
So, it's, pardon me for my lack of expertise on terms, but an arcane conduit for your spells?
Yeah, that'd be a good way to put it. But only specifically for spells that require touch. I can't cast really long-range spells, but they have to specifically require touch. In which case, I just I lean over and I just say, Cogfreid. I point to Cerys and I say, Cerys. And then Cogfreid flies over to Cerys and then just like kind of perches on her shoulder before jumping back onto the table.
The question I have
It's lucky
is,
it left. It almost died.
my question here would be, would you be able to clear this thing with interested individuals should we attend a formal event?
Possibly. I figured there might be two potential ways to do that. Either A, treat it as something of a decoration, in which case we have a lovely young lady to display it, and I motion over to Mei Lee. The alternative is to have Cogfreid just tail us from a distance, fly above us, and make his way in through an open window or something.
Wait, so as a matter of curiosity, would you be presenting this construct as a gift for the person in question?
No, it wouldn't. It's not for.
Sorry, not a material gift, more of a gift of distraction, entertainment.
That's an option. I actually did want to discuss that with all of you because getting Cogfreid into the Soiree might be as simple as having him just sneak in. He can take care of himself, and he does what I tell him to.
Well,
or
you
we
may
can
not
have...
be able to. You may not have to sneak him in. You could advertise him as a arcane display of entertainment.
That's another option as well. Yes. There's also the. I know that there are some rich folk that tend to like wear furs or have some sort of small miniature pet that they'll show off. That could also be an option.
I'm less familiar with how House Orion would handle these matters, but it sounds viable.
Right. But he'll do pretty much what I tell him, and if I tell him to listen to any of you, he'll do that as well.
So the question necessarily becomes, outside of conveyance for your spells, is there anything that this construct can do in terms of a martial engagement?
Oh yeah. He can fire a little blast out of his mouth.
It goes without saying that you need to keep that regularity under discretion.
I wasn't going to advertise it.
yet, here we have a construct of fine work.
Well, I learned from someone who knew what they were doing. So. Also, I will be working on something upstairs. I'm not tonight. I'm not extremely confident in my abilities without any sort of protection. That's why I bought that briefcase. It's my intention to modify the armor I just purchased, turn it into a variation of what I'm currently wearing, though that'll remove the arcane aspects of this and place it on that. But
So
I'm hopeful
you
that
would be tailoring your suit towards discretion.
Yes. Well, the suit that is being tailored, that's just to wear. The idea for this is just to carry the armor in the briefcase, and I am going to be using the. And I point to normally when I activate my armor, I hit the left shoulder, and there are two on my armor. I don't know if anyone has noticed this at this point, but there are two different symbols on each shoulder of my armor. Whenever I activate my arcane armor, I usually do it by messing with some knob on the left shoulder. I point to the rune on the right shoulder. I say, I'm going to be using this one, make it a bit more stealthy, just in case. I don't know if we'll need it.
Levin, having seen you drop, he would have noticed a discrepancy in your armor, but not necessarily the purpose.
Sorry, what was that?
Levin would have noticed a discrepancy in your armor, having seen you fall in combat, but not necessarily know the purpose.
I point to the left shoulder. I go, "This is for defense. This is for stealth. I can only make one work at one moment, and it takes a while to reconfigure the armor. But if I move the arcane enchantment to the next suit of armor, I can just make it so it's the stealthier version."
All right, so Gearfried, you're covered. Yep. Levin's going to turn towards Yami, Cerys, and Fennic, and for the soiree that we'll be attending, any of the rest of you provided or prepared gifts?
Why would we bring gifts?
I thought we were getting paid to do this.
Levin's going to shake his head.
The whole point of us being there is to be innocuous.
Correct. Which doesn't mean we have to be ostentatious, just that we have to prepare something. It is a matter of conduct, manners. We're
not actually guests.
It's a matter of politics. If the question comes up, having an answer is better than not having an answer.
The answer is we're a guest.
It doesn't have... Correct. It doesn't have to be ostentatious. It could be as simple as a fruit or flower arrangement.
Why, did you get them something?
I've made preparations. I was inquiring as to the preparations or lack thereof for the remainder of the group.
Put all our names on your gift. Why not?
That is an extreme faux pas.
I don't feel it'll be necessary for us to bring gifts. I don't intend to bring these people gifts.
Cerys, do you intend on acting in a less than servile capacity?
Perhaps?
Will you be asking questions, engaging in dialogue, or, heavens forbid, dancing with any individuals?
What's wrong with dancing?
It's a specific question.
Oh, I think you're over-preparing for variables we have yet to answer. We don't know what the job is yet. For all we know, we're going to be asked to wait in the closet.
It's a dragon-marked house. It is a party.
Yes. There are lots of places you can be in a party, like a butler's uniform.
Did you have a butler's uniform prepared?
Get one. Easier than I can get a noble's uniform, which is why I paid to have the one I have.
If you are going to engage in dialogue with those above your station, a gift is expected.
They only think they're above my station, but sure. I'm going to talk to people.
Whether or not you believe they're above your station is not so much as how they perceive your place with regards to theirs. Cerys,
Yes.
when you're working a crowd, you want to blend in, yes?
Yes. There are many ways to do that. Very few of them involve gifts.
Were you going to be presenting yourself as a person of some prominence?
I don't know. I think you're asking me to answer a question.
How about your manner of dress?
I haven't committed to anything yet. I'm just covering the variables to make sure I have the option available. We have yet to get the assignment, Levin. I respect the preparedness, but we don't know what we're doing yet. Other than
Yeah, I didn't plan on talking to
bodyguarding.
nobody. I'm just gonna get paid. Okay,
We
I
have
don't
the
give a rat's
vague
ass about all
description.
that.
We have the vague description of bodyguarding something or someone, which leaves a lot of room open for interpretation.
It really doesn't.
What if we're guarding a thing in a room where there are no guests?
Which means we need to have a certain level of dress, a interaction of sorts with the person bringing us in. We have to effectively be vouched for and present with a certain level of class with regards to the person introducing us. There's a thing to it. It's a headache. It's politics. No one likes it.
If we just have to stand around and watch a noble, though, we don't actually need to serve as guests. We just need to look the part.
And if we're watching over a noble, we may be, on occasion, asked to bring interested parties to speak with said noble.
Sure.
As you guys
That
are
would
having this
require being
conversation,
social.
let me just interrupt for 30 seconds. As you're having
Go
this
ahead.
conversation, you're going to notice, particularly those who aren't actively talking, you are going to notice that the sound of the tavern is now being filled with the melodious sounds of a lute. As you notice the evening crowd begins rushing in, and the bar becomes more and more populated. Go ahead and continue.
Possibly.
While this is happening, is anybody playing dice?
Give me a perception check.
You guys have fun, kiddos. Hey, Fennic, you
Cerys,
want to learn how to gamble?
You make it sound like I don't know how already.
Ah, that's my boy.
Know how to cheat at dice.
You said perception, I'm sorry, right?
Yes, sir.
18.
You are able to find a small little group of a combination of humans and dwarves, and they are playing dice.
Yep, send me my way over there. What about you, Gearfried? You up for a hand or two?
Normally, I'd love to, but I need to work on my armor. I'll be upstairs for the remainder of the night.
You got it, Chief. I'll just mosey my way on there while they still continue their combo.
At this point, Mei Lee is going to lean over towards Cerys. Would you like another drink? I'm going to go get one.
Sure. Just a water's is fine.
And how about you, Levin?
tea to dilute the whiskey. I feel like this is going to be a drawn-out conversation.
I can save you some steps. You're never going to convince me to bring a gift.
That will save exactly one step.
Fennic, are
Well,
you still at the table?
I am still at the table.
Okay. Fennic, would you like a drink? And you would be able to tell that she's really only asking through politeness, not through desire.
Yeah, I'll take an ale.
Sure. I'll be right back. And she's going to go scuttle off to the tavern, the bar.
Alright. Cerys,
Yes.
well, do you want to establish a cover story for the soiree?
I suppose we can have one in place if need be.
Then, would you object to me being you're expecting to be in a bodyguard position?
I'm not.
Sorry, continue.
I'm not entirely sure what to expect or what would be expected of us, but I mean,
You have talent towards social interactions.
You're not wrong.
Would you be averse towards ordering me around to pull interested parties to you towards conversation?
The wide, feral grin that spreads across her face when you suggest the idea of her ordering you around looks very predatory. Yes, I would not be averse to this at all. I would welcome it.
In that regard, then, a potential way of handling this would be you would be a more prominent, if not prominent, social figure. You would direct me towards individuals of interest, and I would pull them to you for introduction.
Certainly. Can work.
Well, and Levin's going to give Cerys details on his manner of understated military dress.
By that point, Mei
she'll-
Lee would return to the table with everybody's drinks, so you are now fully restocked with your beverages.
Yay.
Thank you kindly.
So, as a summary, this would be a change in the dynamic that you and I shared in Sean. You would be the one in charge, and I would be the one in a servile position.
I was always the one in charge. It's just a matter of where our stations were set. But yes, I see what you're meaning.
Live to serve.
Is she testing Levin's patience?
Levin is far more patient than most people would think.
Fair enough.
With that, is there anything you'd like to do for the remainder of the evening before we take our long rest?
Fennic's going to try and give it an attempt in his Rubik's Cube.
Alrighty.
Did you see the table I put up in the chat with it?
Oh, that is at length.
No, I know. It's obviously edited. We'll edit it, but that was just kind of the quick skeleton. No, absolutely. That's fine. Yeah. That was just a quick type it in. It gave me something. I'm like, okay, let's just get this and we'll work with it.
We'll sort it off camera.
Fully understand.
Basically, yeah. Oh no, I was just Cerys is just sort of like watching Fennic sort of like work this strange little puzzle toy, and all she's thinking about is she could easily solve this by prying off all the facings and just putting them back in order.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Just cut that Gordian knot.
Whee!
Pretty much to our specifications.
There.
That's fair. That's legit. Not bad. Yeah.
At the very least, Levin with the very specific parameters gave her an easier time of it. It is still, yeah, four outfits. God dang.
That poor woman.
Maybe she made 100 gold in a day. She's doing all right.
Normal.
Did he give us a time? Fair enough. I assume after we retrieve our clothes, then that would be the time we'd go visit him.
Agreed.
It's reasonable.
Okay. I wanted to, well, before we got there, like a couple minutes before we arrived at this place, Cerys would have cast disguise self on herself to make herself look less like Cerys and more like a different kind of elf.
Similarly, I was going to say, similarly, Gearfried is not. This is one of the few times where Gearfried is not wearing any armor at all. He's wearing just common clothes. He left his stuff in his room. Cogfreid is around my neck. He's just kind of on my shoulder right now.
Levin would have remitted his scimitar towards the guardskeeper as he is introducing himself as a security detail for the parties entering. I'm simply remitting my sidearm as protocol for attending an event. I am acting as security for parties to attend. I will be acting as a security detail. This is Levin trying to secure clearance.
Cerys will sort of step up. It's like, we were invited to meet with the Lord of the House regarding a prospective job as security. He's almost...
What is Ramos's last name?
Oh,
We wrote it down somewhere. Hold on. Da, 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 da.
all my notes involve crime.
No, I don't remember Ramos by first name. Udurin or Durin? Ramos Udurin sent us to work security detail for the House Orion fellow here. Might be listed under Dapper Dan's.
Huh?
That would be this one, and I point down.
Well, now you have. I am Sir Fennic. Ha. No, one ha. Ha ha was my father. Sir Fennic ha. Yes, Sir Fennic ha ha was my father. And Madam Fennic ho ho was my mother.
Cerys rolls her eyes. Cerys will hand over several daggers.
Oh, she has a stiletto. I didn't bring any. Oh. I didn't bring any weapons with me, unless you'd like to look after my pet here. Man of class.
Fennic will hand over one dagger. And for his, like, he has his staff on him. You wouldn't part walking, would you? Bad knees. No, he's lying.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Levin is going to interject slightly to pull their attention slightly. Would I be able to keep any sidearm with regards to my ability to perform security for my client? And then, in addition to handing over his scimitar, he's going to hand over his boot dagger. Now, this is for the purposes of drawing attention away from Fennic and asking follow-up questions.
Fennic got an 18 on the deception. Mighty. What could I what would I do with it? You
It's all right. He's being facetious.
I mean, if he's got ideas.
I kick Fennic in the shin.
Levin is going to
see?
hold his hand out to his side and low as, like, just a casual warning to Fennic, like, no, keep it simple.
And as Cerys kicks him, he's gonna point, and he's gonna point to Cerys and then hold up the staff. See?
Walking
Would any
on.
of us have heard that?
Ooh, looks like it's a.
Are we? He'll look up at Levin. Are we auditioning?
Yes. So it would seem.
Probably
That-
interviewing more than auditioning.
Same thing.
Yeah, yes and no.
You have to act to pretend like you want the job.
We do want the job.
Well,
So
look,
we do want the
I've worked with House
agreement
Aryan before.
service.
Maybe I can use that to our advantage.
front here is a little difficult.
What was that?
Up front here would be a little difficult, but by all means, please.
Right. All right. Well, I'm just saying it's something we could use. Is like I've worked with them before. They trusted me to work for them before, and I'm currently engaged with a contract. So if we need to bring it up to perhaps increase our chances.
Levin is going to turn towards Gearfried, and he's going to put his arms to the side, like, almost at a half bow, and like, please proceed. And he's directing towards the guards.
All right. We call ourselves the Dapper Dans.
Rolls eyes. Well, Uncle Ram Ram.
nature of the business.
The stuff that's about us, you really can't make it up.
Not everyone can predict military operations.
Right.
Did you take an arrow to the knee?
Pardon me, my shorter statured individual friend, companion, he doesn't understand euphemisms towards marriage. Levin's gonna nod and back off. Fishing for sponsorship? Have you made a report towards the authorities here? Levin is going to nod and say, at your discretion, it is not my place. By monitoring a house, I'm assuming you mean the guild house, or is this a personal property? So, you would like for us to engage in a sting operation?
Excellent. Seems simple enough.
Accepting, what would be the duration of the request?
Did you say each?
No.
Okay. Okay, no, that was a legitimate clarification question. That was no, that was Matt asked. Like I was writing when you said it, so I needed.
For a 2-week duration.
Just a slight question. Would food? I assume, obviously, shelter, since we'd be staying in the house. Would we be expected to stay in the house the entire time? In which case, would we need to purchase bulk food items, or would you have that supplied here already?
So,
Have they
would
been
you
vetted?
would you comp an expense report with regards to maintaining security? Food, lodging, supplies for security.
Do you have? Would you be? Would you be amenable
Discreet.
to a? Would you be amenable to us supplying a list of perhaps some, not necessarily expensive, but perhaps essential items that we might need for security purposes, namely magical components that we perhaps need to use?
Levin's gonna turn towards Gearfried and Cerys. So, any considerations?
Beyond some components for spells that I wouldn't be able to bypass with a focus, I can't think of anything.
No, I think that covers everything.
He's gonna turn towards Fennic and Yami.
I think it covers the basis. Do you have any? I got nothing.
Yeah, I have no complaints. I mean, it seems simple enough for the most part, or for now.
Then the only question I have at this moment is, what would be the acceptable, and he's going to be deliberate with this, force parameters towards securing the domicile?
Rounds?
Also, would you be able to supply us with a list of the help on file? Your butlers, your cleaners, your maids.
On-site personnel.
And you've known.
Then, if you would, then I will conduct cursory interviews with the on-site personnel.
Of course.
If you would.
Oh,
I did wear half plate armor, yeah.
Does it look like the necklace from Titanic? Like as like a reference point?
Does this beautiful piece of jewelry do anything, or is it just a family heirloom? Well, I'm certainly interested. Free lodging for 2 weeks doesn't sound all that bad. And the
Yeah.
party seems reasonable. Also, we did have some questions about the party, specifically with regards to what we would be permitted to bring in potentially as security measure, since we would be guarding you and your heirloom. Well, I guess the first question is the heirloom that we're guarding going to be carried by you or your wife, or is it going to be on display? All right. Second question. This one's a little bit more specific to my case. This adorable little fellow and Cogfreid will kind of start to come to life and move as he like stands up, perched on my neck. This is a little companion of mine, and I feel that he might be helpful in the measures to aid with security. Would this be permitted into the event, or would I have to get him in some other way? Right now, understandable. Um, well, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm certainly interested in doing this. Are we all on the same page here?
Certainly. It seems like
And it's free lodging.
Levin will nod.
Yes, that would seems like a good job.
Party in how many? Party in how many days?
And we have to guard this the whole time?
Provide security.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
We're guarding against the sticky bandits.
I can make things work.
That'd be a sight.
Ah.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
It'll be great. I'm excited.
Cool.
Oh dear heavens.
Mm.
Don't.
Dakani representation is a non-factor until we come up to it. Fair.
It's good to have expectations. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Alrighty. Good night.